Hey everyone, thanks for joining us at the Teams in Education event today. My name is Max Fritz, and with me I have Samantha Fisher. We're both product managers on the Microsoft for Education team, and we're here to talk to you today about Microsoft 365, Teams, and your LMS. So, what we're going to talk about today is a little bit of the transformation of teaching and learning. Obviously, you're here today, you've heard plenty about transformation already, but we want to talk about it in the context of the LMS integrations and why we're doing this, how we partner with the different LMS providers, what those integrations are. We're going to show some live demos, and then we're going to talk to you about how you can get started today, whether it be through onboarding assistance, training, or just finding out more information. So a key component of why we believe these LMS integrations are just crucial for success of our customers like yourselves is the elephant in the room of hybrid learning. We know through talking with you, through industry studies, and just the state of the industry that we're not necessarily going to go back to pre-2020 teaching and learning. I saw an interesting kind of funny image of a classroom from 1850 and a classroom from 2019, and with the exception of one of them being black and white and the other one being in color, they both had a chalkboard, they both had a bunch of desks lined up in a row, and they both had a desk in the front for the educator. Now I know we've been more innovative since then, but we're expected to provide all sorts of technologies now that students are in fact demanding, whether that be remote, asynchronous, synchronous learning, or hybrid altogether. So our goals at Microsoft are to provide that one seamless education experience. We want to inspire learning. We want to make you feel like you're together even when you're not. We want to expand everyone's potential. And of course, we want to support your organization's mission to support and understand students. Now, for how LMSs and Microsoft 365 work together, we have partnered with a ton of different LMS providers out there. We have various different LTIs, as they're called, with these LMS providers that hook into Microsoft 365 and other Microsoft services. Now, at Microsoft, whether you've used Teams for Education before or this is your first time learning about it today, we of course have plenty of technology within Teams and the greater Microsoft 365 that can help you with learning all across the board. But we know if you have an LMS in place, that is a core component of how you need to run your classroom. So we believe that that's the critical foundation for your classroom management if you have one of those. But Microsoft 365 can provide you real-time and asynchronous collaboration tools. When you bring those two together, you get an interesting mix. And this is what we're calling our teaching and learning reimagined. Bringing back to our hybrid learning discussion, even if you're not hybrid, if you're fully remote or in person or whatever your education institution is planning to do, we want to provide complementary workspaces for teaching and learning, seamless integration, and overall an improved learning environment. Now we have some examples on both sides of the equation here of where things may lie and where they may not. This is not prescriptive guidance. Maybe you're having your social expression in the LMS instead of Microsoft 365, but it's a joint understanding of the tools and capabilities that we can both provide. Now, all of this comes to our hub of Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is where all collaboration happens now in Office 365 and Microsoft 365. That's teaching and learning, which is core to what we're talking about here in this session. Professional development, insights and analytics, which is a fantastic session on at this conference as well. Student success, another session you should check out. Project-based learning, coordination with faculty and staff. All of it happens within this bubble of Microsoft Teams, which includes your favorite Office apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneDrive, OneNote, All of these things wrap into the bundle that is Microsoft Teams. So you're going to see us and hear us talk a lot about Teams as the core component of this. And then bringing everything together. We want to provide a streamlined education solution. We don't want this to just be, here's your LMS, and here's Microsoft Teams or Microsoft 365, and here's just a little connector to make them work kind of together. We want it to be streamlined. We want synchronous and asynchronous communication to work seamlessly. We want access for blending learning environments to be available anywhere and anytime. We want embedded assignment workflows to go across the boundaries. And in my opinion, one of the most important pieces is providing an accessible experience for all students. And that doesn't just mean accessibilities with learning needs or the standard way we might define accessibility. It's about equity, whether our students are remote, in person, whether they have special learning needs. We want to make sure that that is available to students in all of the platforms they use. So I'm going to hand it over to Samantha to share some real examples.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Max. Hi, everyone. I'm really glad to be here with you today and to get to talk about the benefits of using a learning management system alongside Microsoft 365. This is a story that's actually very close to my own experience. I was a student at Seattle University and I graduated in 2020. So just as the pandemic hit, I had to do my last quarter of school online, remote. We had just transitioned. Of course, this was in the early days of the pandemic, so it was a bit of a scramble. But one thing that I am really grateful that I had to continue working and collaborating with my teammates was Microsoft Teams alongside our learning management system, and we used Canvas at Seattle U. Canvas was awesome. It was the place that I definitely pretty much lived during the pandemic to find out about announcements, assignments, everything that was coming up, do all of my tests and quizzes securely through there. But I was also in a year-long senior project with these awesome people that you can see on the slide here. Those are my teammates, Will, Lena, and Jonathan. And we were working on this year-long computer science capstone where we were building out a software product for a company here in the Seattle area. And we collaborated via Teams. That's how we got everything done, from late night calls where we were debugging code to just quick chats to get answers from our project sponsors and our advisor. That was kind of the hub of where we lived. But at the time, there weren't really good integrations between Canvas and Teams. And so I was living in two completely separate places. I think this was also something that we heard from lots of students at the beginning of the pandemic. We, as Microsoft Education, had the privilege to get to hear about what it was like for students and educators as they transitioned into hybrid learning, remote learning, and how the pandemic affected them. And we heard a lot of things. It was definitely hard to hear about some of the experiences that people were having. But one thing that we definitely heard loud and clear from students was that they wanted better integration of the solutions that they were using on a daily basis. Because this teacher would want, this technology, and then another educator would want something else, and they were just bouncing back and forth between different platforms, and it became quite hectic. And one thing that we definitely know at Microsoft is that, as Max mentioned, the learning management system is really that central component and hub where students are going to come back to, where faculty are going to come back to. And so it's up to us as Microsoft Education to show up as well as we can within a learning management system. So it was kind of a cool experience for me. I was able to join the team at Microsoft in July of 2020, right after I had graduated college. And right away, I started working on these integrations between learning management systems and Microsoft products and making them better so that I could help students who had been through what I had essentially just been through. We also heard that students are really struggling with the lack of connection. And of course, when you're remote, when you don't have that ability to make those deep connections in person, it can be really challenging. And so that's why I'm excited to demo some of the cool features of Teams today with things like praise and reflect that allow you to congratulate and recognize achievements, as well as bring in that social and emotional learning and well-being piece, as well as just the connectedness that Teams provides, the easy ways to just hop into a chat or a discussion, or even just start a meeting and hit meet now within a Teams channel. All of these things make it easier to stay connected. Of course, there are still lots of other challenges in this remote and hybrid world that we're still working through, but we do really believe that Teams can help with these problems of lack of connectedness. So I'm going to start talking through the learning management system integrations that we have, and then I'll do a little bit of a live demo in both Instructure Canvas and Blackboard Ultra to show how some of our integrations show up for real in these learning management systems. So first, we have a lot of different tools that integrate with LMSs. Today, we'll really primarily be focusing on 4 that are on the slide here: the new Teams Classes LTI, the new Teams Meetings LTI, the new OneDrive LTI, and the Immersive Reader integration. But I want to also call out some of these others. We have integrations with all of these skills and training tools like LinkedIn Learning, Microsoft Learn, and Azure Labs that can integrate directly into your LMS. In Canvas only, we have a Flipgrid LTI integration, which is super cool. If you haven't heard about Flipgrid, it's like the coolest video sharing platform that's just taken off like wildfire and is just a super cool part of Microsoft. We also have a GitHub Classroom integration. So students can work on and turn in their coding projects, as well as a class notebook LTI. This is one of the oldest but most loved Microsoft LTI integrations. This is one of the first ones we shipped, and it's still one of our highest used LTI products. People love it. It allows you to create a class notebook, which is a OneNote, which is a Microsoft product. And OneNote's just awesome. It allows you to do all sorts of, rich collaboration and inking, and there's math coach features and the ability to input all sorts of rich content. It's just really wonderful, especially, even in like STEM classes. That ability to do those equations right within OneNote is really cool. And there's a collaborative place for the whole class as well as individual notebook spaces for students where they can work just with their teacher in that space. So we have a lot of different integrations. I'll say that now as I'm going to start demoing live some of these others. I do want to drill in a little bit more. What I'm showing right now in terms of the new Teams meeting integration is currently available in Canvas. It's coming soon to Blackboard, and we are working with our other LMS partners. We're working closely with D2L Brightspace and Schoology, as well as Moodle, to get some of these things available in all of our top LMS partners, as well as other LMSs that have approached us and want to work on these new integrations with us. But today, what I'll show is just available in Canvas and Blackboard Ultra. But like I said, we're really excited to expand. However, this old Teams Meetings integration that does allow you to create a Teams Meetings link from the rich content editor is available with all of those LMS partners I just mentioned and more. So this is really great. It's just a quick and dirty way to create those Teams Meetings links, embed them anywhere within, a discussion or an assignment, or just create a recurring link. It's definitely great functionality there. So that is available for everyone today, but the new functionality I'm showing, we're rolling out, is being rolled out to our partners in a more phased manner. And then again, just highlighting the awesomeness that is Class Notebook and how great it is. And the Class Notebook LTI is also available today with all of those LTI partners or LMS partners that I already mentioned. So without further ado, I will hop right into a live demo. All right, so I'm demoing now, starting with Canvas, which is the first LMS provider that we've gone GA with all of these integrations. As you can see, this is the dashboard of my Canvas instance, and I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to start by demoing the Immersive Reader integration with Canvas, which is pretty much our hero product here at Microsoft for accessibility. So I'm going to jump right into a course here and open up a Canvas page. So if I open up any page, right up here, I have the ability to hop right into the Immersive Reader. Now, this is awesome. This just comes for free with Canvas. You don't have to do anything. Your admin doesn't have to install anything. This is just something that Canvas really believed was super important to integrate across their whole experience. So they've done just that. So we've been super excited to partner with them on this. So if I click the Immersive Reader button, that's going to take me into this immersive reading experience. And one thing I want to call out about this tool was designed with students with dyslexia and dysgraphia in mind, but what we heard right off the bat as soon as we launched this was just how many more students than we had even imagined this tool was helping. It helps students who are, learning English as another language or learning other languages as well. It can help people who, think in different ways, and I'll show you the picture dictionary. It's really cool. It also helps English teachers as they're, teaching how to break down the syllables of words or parts of speech. There's just so many amazing features of the Immersive Reader that it's really for everyone, and it can just really help make a whole classroom experience more inclusive and accessible. So I can change the text size, the dark theme, the font, all of that from this menu. I can also show parts of speech, so that's really cool. I can show labels as well. So this is the part that I mentioned is kind of like an English teacher's dream. I can see nouns here. I can also turn on syllables, which will syllabify these words, which is that's a fun word in and of itself. But it also can help me sort of sound out these words and figure out exactly how to say them. I also have this awesome picture dictionary that is turned on, but as you can see, when I click on the word chemistry, I get an awesome descriptive picture that tells me exactly what's going on. So this is the Immersive Reader. It's really, really cool. It's very powerful. It is also available in over 60 languages, so that's awesome as well. But yeah, that's one of our first integrations that I wanted to show you all today. And today that is available in Canvas. Like I said, we're working with our other LMS partners to hopefully be able to offer that with more partners as well.
Of note for everybody, that is available in almost every Microsoft product that you're using today, whether it be Edge, Word, Teams, PowerPoint, you name it. So while we're working to get it in more LMSs, it's right behind where you're already using things.
Yes, that's very true, Max. We've definitely done the due diligence to integrate the Immersive Reader everywhere that we can. Within Canvas, I'll show the Microsoft Teams classes experience, and I'll also page over quickly to Blackboard to show what this looks like as well. So there's a couple admin steps that have to happen to set this up. But basically, what happens is I have the ability as an educator to come into settings in my course, go to the Integrations tab in Canvas, and just turn on this Microsoft Sync, hit Sync now, and it'll go ahead and create a Microsoft team for my course, and it'll keep it in sync automatically. Blackboard has a very similar integration that I can show you as well. So again, I'll see a little, if this wasn't set up, I would see an Enable Microsoft Teams button down here. Once I clicked that, it would go ahead and go through the process of creating me a Microsoft team as well. But when I click on this item in my Blackboard Ultra course, it shows me this team that I can go ahead and launch directly into Blackboard. So that's super awesome there. It's a very similar integration. But what this integration allows is not just that creation of the team, but as I mentioned, that automatic roster sync. So this is super, super awesome, especially for schools that are seeing a lot of enrollment changes, especially early on in the quarter or the semester. As students are adding and dropping, every 90 minutes, this LTI is actually searching for those changes and updating the team accordingly. So as students are adding and dropping, they will be updated and added to that team. Then I do want to open this team and kind of talk a little bit more about Teams. I'm going to use the web app here because, of course, my Teams app is through my Microsoft credentials at this point. So I will show what it looks like on the web app. Awesome. So it's loading here, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Teams and why I think it's so awesome, why I loved using it in college, and why I honestly still love using it every day today at work. And it really is that connection and collaboration piece. So I do want to call out here, there is a class notebook, there's assignments, there's insights, there's these things in Teams that you can absolutely very easily turn off in the Teams Admin Center. A notable one is assignments. You might want to just completely turn that off if you're using Canvas or Blackboard completely for your assignments or another LMS. The benefit here is there's a couple different special assignment types like reading progress assignments that you might be aware of that you can only use through Teams. So if you want to use it more for activities, that's an option, which is why I've left it on in this demo instance. But I have a lot of different ways that I can connect and collaborate using Teams. So of course I can schedule meetings in my channels. I can create different channels to talk about different subjects in the course. I could create different channels for each of my groups in my LMS course. Maybe, a project team that's working together, and that can be their own collaboration space where they can meet and post back and forth and talk to one another. I also have the ability here, like I mentioned, I want to just highlight these quickly, are praise and reflect. These are both super cool. Here's praise right here. This is actually something we still very actively use at Microsoft. In the Microsoft education team, we send each other praise every 2 weeks, and then we sit down in our retro meeting and we read it, and it's really cool. So it's a great way to recognize your teammates, say thank you, really just get to recognize the work that people are doing. So we have this awesome way to do that here, where I can, add it for someone specifically, which is awesome. And then I can also add a personalized note. So I can send that now, which is awesome. I also have Reflect, which is a social and emotional learning tool. So let me pull that up as well. That allows me to create check-ins for my students based on how they're feeling, either about the course material or just things in general. It also allows them to reflect on their goals and intentions. So this is really cool as well. We definitely heard from educators that sort of, taking the pulse of a room, the thumbs up, thumbs down, even just being able to kind of see students and how they were entering the classroom really changed during remote and hybrid learning. And so Reflect is a cool way to kind of replicate that. And also, I want to show that classmates can either see reflections but not names, or they won't see anything at all. So it is also anonymous in that sense, that although the teacher can see how you're feeling, you don't have to worry about other students potentially judging how you may or may not have reflected. So that's pretty cool. But now going back to Canvas, I will show the Microsoft Teams meetings integration now. And yeah, just to reiterate, that Teams classes integration is available in Canvas and in Blackboard Learn Ultra today. And we are, as I mentioned, actively working with other LMS partners all the time. So this new Microsoft Teams meetings integration allows me to see an agenda view of all of my upcoming meetings, which is really awesome. And then also to create new meetings. So just I'll show this before I move into the creation screen. I can actually go back and look at past meetings through using this calendar functionality here. I can join right within Canvas. I can also jump into the meeting chat or the meeting options. Meeting options are great. They allowed me to do things like set a co-organizer for the meeting, set an automatic recording setting, decide who can present. Maybe it's only me or only me and my co-teachers and not my students, but there's a lot of great options here. So I will go ahead and create a new meeting and show what that looks like. So I'm going to create an office hours meeting. And at the click of a button here, I can actually add the entire class, which is great. So all of my students and my co-teachers are here. And I can actually see who's in this class because of this class team. So it's just taking everyone who's involved in this team and placing them right here in this meeting, which is awesome. I can set the time. I could make it a recurring meeting if I wanted. I also have the ability to add a location, which is great if this is, for example, a hybrid meeting. So I have a lot of options here. And then when I send this, that meeting will now show up here. As you can see, because it's in 5 minutes, it's telling me that. It's giving me a little join button, but it's also going to show up on my Teams and Outlook calendar as well. So I have a lot of ways to access this meeting. So that is the Microsoft Teams classes and Microsoft Teams meetings integration. Teams meetings is available today in Canvas and coming soon to Blackboard. And as of course, I already mentioned, other LMSs in the future. So I now want to talk a little bit about the Microsoft OneDrive integration. This is a new and improved way to integrate OneDrive and Office 365 into your LMS. It is available today in Blackboard Learn Ultra, Blackboard Learn Classic, and Canvas. So it is available in both versions of Blackboard as well as Canvas, and it allows me to do a lot of awesome things. So it allows me to access my files. If I want, optionally, this is configured by the admin, but I can switch between different OneDrive accounts. I can create assignments. I can create templated assignments. I can add content to course modules. So I'll show a little bit about what that looks like. So within Canvas modules here, I can add an item using the external tool placement. Microsoft OneDrive will come up. Oop, I need to sign in really quick. Here we go. So I'm going to see all of my files that I can add, and I'm going to add this chemical reactions data. Actually, I'll add this electrochemistry PowerPoint here. So I'll select that file. Add the item to the module. Oh, I guess I've already added it before, but I'll show the new version that I just added. This now allows me to page right through this Microsoft PowerPoint file right within Canvas. And I'll show it's a similar experience in Blackboard that I can also add content directly from this new OneDrive LTI. So this is my course content in my Blackboard Ultra course. Like I said, this also works for adding content to assignments and creating course content in Blackboard Learn Classic, but I'll show the Ultra experience. I have this awesome open from OneDrive icon here that's going to allow me to open from OneDrive. Again, I'm going to need to sign in really quick. Awesome. So again, I can add this PowerPoint directly to my Blackboard Learn Ultra course. Awesome. So then I can open this right up in Blackboard, and it's going to shoot me right into PowerPoint. Exactly, very similar to the Canvas experience there. It's going to allow me to page right through this PowerPoint. Oh, wow, this is an interesting PowerPoint. Yeah, but it's going to take me all the way through this energy level PowerPoint. Perfect. So that's the OneDrive experience. There's a lot more placements of OneDrive. I might not have time to go through them all, but I'll show really quickly just the assignment creation in Canvas. I'll also note that anywhere that there's a rich content editor in Blackboard or Canvas, you can use the Microsoft OneDrive LTI to add files. So I'll show what that looks like really quick. I'll create a new assignment, and then right from within here, I have the Microsoft OneDrive option where I can actually either embed or link files, which is new functionality. Previous integrations with Office 365 don't have that. But yeah, I can embed or link a file here. I'll show linking just for these purposes, but that'll allow me to put this into a discussion, an assignment, anywhere I want. We also have this great placement here with the external tool submission type in Canvas. And this actually allows you to create an assignment using OneDrive. So what this means is whatever file I select from my OneDrive, a copy will be made for each of my students that they can securely work on and submit directly to Canvas. It's really easy. Everything stays on the cloud. It gives the student an awesome little edit and submit button as soon as they see their version of the file. And of course, it doesn't mess with the teacher's original. But that's another really cool placement that we have here. So I just want to highlight that really quickly. But essentially, anywhere that you can imagine your OneDrive and Office files interacting with the LMS workflows, that's where the OneDrive LTI plugs in. So now in this logic assignment, you'll see this embedded file. The student view actually shows an edit button right here and a submit button right here. Oh, gosh. Did my screen freak out, Max?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. All right. Sorry, everyone. All right, Jason, cut that off. Okay. As you can see, I just created and published this logic assignment. I have my instructions that I can click on here. I also have this awesome embedded file, and this is the file that each of my students are going to get their own copy of. So from the student view, I would see an edit button right here and a submit button right here up in the ribbon, which is awesome as well, and just allows my students to really seamlessly start working on this file and submit it back to Canvas. So that's a quick overview, maybe not so quick, of all of our new LTI integrations. We're really excited about these. We've definitely worked hard to incorporate the feedback that we've been receiving from educators and students and IT admins and school leaders about more integrated experiences between Microsoft Teams, Microsoft OneDrive, and other Microsoft products with your LMS. So yeah, I'll send it back to you, Max.
Thanks.
PowerPoint again.
I can do it. Well, thanks for that, Samantha. What we want to finish out with today is some onboarding and training in addition to change management assistance. So this slide I'm about to show you has a ton of resources on it. First of all, we have plenty of IT documentation, more being added as we continue to release more LTIs with more LMS providers. Your starting place is going to be that overview to Microsoft LTI apps. That's your main link. And click-through demos for the Canvas LTIs. In addition to that, we have partner resources set up for Canvas, Blackboard, D2L, and Moodle. D2L and Moodle are currently other LTIs that they have built themselves or with other partners that integrate with Microsoft. And over time, they will be implementing our new LTIs that Samantha showed as well. And then I beg of you, if you are interested in these LMS integrations, for sure, check out the documentation on yourself, but go over to aka.ms/LMS integration and fill out the form, because one of our resources is more than happy to help you wherever you are in the process, whether you're just trying to figure out more about the LMS integrations, you actually want to start implementing them, you want to start adoption workshops and deploying it amongst your education environment, tons of different options. And beyond that, we also have change management and training services and free education training. Now, that's a lot of links. The slide deck, as previously mentioned, will be available after the event. You should actually already be able to get to that through the link we provided. But your biggest link, the one we want to leave you with here today, is aka.ms/LMS integration. That is your go-to. That is where you'll find us, myself, Samantha, and a ton of great resources who are ready and waiting to help you out.
Thank you so much, everyone. This has been awesome today. I hope this has been helpful. And yeah, like Max said, just please head over to that link. You'll get a bunch of resources. And we also have an awesome team who's happy to help answer questions, help you deploy these integrations if you're interested in testing them out yourself.
Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.